What's up, everybody? It's your boy AlexisMaurice, and I just got through watching Sunday's episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Episode 11, Season 8, Miss Parks goes to Washington, D.C. So go ahead and pour yourself a glass of wine, put on some lipstick, pull up a chair, because we need to discuss tonight's episode. Now, while I am taking my first sip, you go ahead and like this video on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, make sure you share it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, all of that stuff, because you know your brother's trying to come on up. Yes, bitches, I'm back! The queen is back! Child, NeNe Leakes done bought her tired ass back over to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. NeNe, now I thought you said you wasn't coming back, girl. As much as I hate to say this, though, it's actually good to see you. You and all them damn teeth that you got in your mouth. That's all you saw when she was ringing Cynthia's doorbell. But NeNe, it's good to see you. Welcome back. Although I would say that the season was going pretty good without you. Carlos, I don't know why did you feel the need that you had to bring NeNe back. And I can imagine how that conversation went. Girl, on FaceTime, NeNe, I need you. I really need you. The girls are doing good, but they just not giving me what I need, and I need you. You didn't have to bring NeNe back, but since she is here, I'm actually glad to see her. I was kind of thrown to see her and Cynthia be so friendly. You know, they were really friendly in this scene that they actually had when NeNe and what's her husband's name? Greg came over to the house with Peter and Cynthia, and child, they act like ain't nothing happened. They act like they weren't at each other's throat, like they weren't arguing on social media and in real life, like they weren't talking to each other. Everything just seemed real copacetic. I mean, if they like it, I love it. I don't know. It was just kind of weird just to see them so lovey-dovey like that. And Cynthia begging for NeNe to unblock her. Girl, you need to unblock me on social media. And I forgot the reason why we fell out with one another or whatever. But already I feel the negative energy that NeNe might bring to the group. Already, Candy Face stuck when she found out NeNe coming back. She bringing that. She's already taking shots at Kenya, and she hasn't even seen Kenya or whatever, especially when Cynthia made the comment, Kenya's my girl. Oh, really? Or whatever. I don't know. I just already feel the negative energy. Cynthia, as we already see in the mid-season trailer, she's going to downplay her friendship with Kenya, and it's just going to be a complete mess. NeNe, you couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. You couldn't fill my shoes. Or someone thought they was the queen, but the queen is back and all of this stuff. So, but, I mean, that's just how I see it. Hopefully, it won't turn out that way. But it is good to see that the women have kind of buried the hatchet, that they mend fences, and that everything is good. I don't know. It's just weird to me. But, of course, NeNe is going to bring the drama. She's going to bring the read. So, let's see how this goes when Kenya and Sheree comes face to face with NeNe. But I'm just glad. I'm glad that they decided to show all of that stuff when NeNe was talking about Cynthia and I would never be friends. Never be friends. I wish her well. What else she had said? I was a good friend to you. And blah, 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 blah. I don't know. But welcome back, NeNe Leakes. Now, speaking of Kenya and Cynthia, they had a really touching moment when Cynthia came over to Moore Manor, the house in the ditch. That's still funny to me. To fill her in on everything that had happened in Detroit. And but the real highlight of the episode, in my personal opinion, was the argument between Aunt Lori and Kenya. Because, they hadn't seen each other since she abruptly left Detroit. She was coming to the family reunion and was at the family reunion. But when she got wind of Kenya going over to her mama's house and upsetting her mama, she left. And they hadn't seen each other since then. So Aunt Lori came over with her daughter, Bigfoot. And, that they were... You can tell Aunt Lori was dreading the conversation. but she knew the conversation needed to be had between her and Kenya. So she came over and Aunt Laura was like, I don't want to be in the middle. I don't want to. You and I have never talked about this, really. We haven't gone into detail. And Kenya, I don't want to be in the middle. I love you, you my niece, but you have to understand that I love my sister too. And Aunt Laura was like, you're not looking at both sides. Aunt Laura respects the fact that her baby sister gave up Kenya, to go be raised by her grandma then. And I think Kenya understands that. She's not judging her mom for not raising her, but Kenya's grown now. She's 40-something years old. And I think Kenya just wants to have a conversation or some sort of a relationship. But Aunt Laura was like, enough is enough. You need to stop. Your mama told me to tell you, you need to stop. You need to leave it alone. And she was like, I'm not finna sit here and get into a pissing match with you. I love my sister. I love you too. But Aunt Laura, you are kind of playing both sides. But at the same time, Kenya, she really doesn't have a choice because that's her sister. Her loyalty is to her sister, but she also has developed a relationship with you and she loves you too. But what broke my heart was when Kenya was like, she started coming around and she was at family functions on the mama side and the mama would talk to everybody in the house but Kenya. That's real petty. Like, how could you do your child like that? Like, how could you speak with everyone and laugh and joke with everyone in the house, but if your daughter comes up to you and talk to you, or try to hold some type of dialogue or conversation with you, you just ignore her? That has to hurt. That hurts a child, especially with the child knowing that that's my mama over there. And Aunt Laura, I don't know how you can really condone it, but Aunt Laura did make a good point to Kenya. She was like, Kenya, you don't know what we've said to your mama. You don't know when you left the room how we might have cussed your mama out or ate her alive or told her you need to talk to that girl and stuff like that. But again, actions always speak louder than words or whatever. You're saying that you did these things, but I never ever saw you correct her myself. And I can understand when Kenya comes from that particular perspective too, because, all right, you're saying all of this, but I ain't never seen you check my mama. I ain't never seen you come from my mama and tell my mama that she needs to talk to me. Like I said, you can respect the fact that the mom gave Kenya up, but if the daughter is trying to have a conversation with her and she's willing to, forgive her mom and all is well, ends well, how can you not give her the opportunity to at least have one conversation with you? For you to even explain why you did what you did. She's a grown woman. I just feel that the mom owes her that. But don't write me no letter when you dying on your deathbed and I get this letter in this mail and you pouring out all of this stuff. I don't want to hear that. That's just my personal opinion. Auntie Laura's like, you don't have a right to knock at the door. And I disagree. I felt that she did have a right. And Auntie Laura's daughter was like, do you think you would? No, I said it last week. What is the purpose of Kenya calling her mama? Because her mama wasn't going to pick up the phone. Aunt Laura was just like, let it go. Move on. Let it go. But Aunt Laura, that's hard. And even Aunt Laura's daughter, I can't remember what your name is, girl. But, it's easy for you to just sit on the other side of the situation and say, I'm sharing my mother with you. I'm sharing my mama with you. But you got your mom at the end of the day. Kenya doesn't have her mom. And that's a real tough situation, just in my personal opinion. So Kenya, girl, be encouraged. You said you've kind of let it go, so hopefully you've let it go. Listen, this restaurant idea of Candy and Todd's, old lady gang, child, I'm here for it, okay? Let me know what you need me to do, Candy and Todd, to make this happen. If you need me to put on do a video, if you need me to do a survey, just let me know what you need. If you need somebody to help y'all figure out what y'all want to put on the menu, if y'all want to have some taste tests, child, I'm here in Atlanta. All you got to do is call me. You ain't even got to call me. Just write me on social media @_AlexisMaurice. Instagram, find me on Facebook. Just let me know because I'm here for the old lady gang. That food looks so damn good over to the house that macaroni and them ribs and the cornbread was a little darker than golden. It was a little, you know, fall brown or something like that. But it'll work. The cornbread will work. And I'm here for it. But the restaurant idea, I like it. I think you guys should go for it. It should be a real authentic soul food. I like the idea of Aunt Nora and Aunt Bertha and Mama Joyce. And it looked like it was some other sisters in that house too. They kind of looked like them, but they didn't get their names on the credit. Y'all could at least put their names or recognize them or gave them a line or something like that or whatever. But, you know, let them be there. Let them be hostess with the mostest. You know, when people come in, they greet them and sit them down and stuff like that. Don't put them women in the kitchen, Candy. Tyler, like he ready to put them in the kitchen. But Candy was like, they're old. They done put in their work. They done did their dues or whatever. But I like the idea. So I really hope that goes well for you guys. Although Aunt Bertha says she ain't here for a child. I don't like it. I ain't never been to jail, so I ain't been wanted. Or what? Aunt Bertha reminds me of my Aunt Phyllis so much. But I hope that idea actually turns out, because I will be up in there every Sunday getting me some fried chicken and some of that macaroni and all of that good stuff. And don't make it too fancy, y'all. Just make it real comfortable so people can be comfortable and come and have a good time and enjoy it. So in this episode, Phaedra goes to Washington, D.C. The whole premise of this episode was around Phaedra, the Saving Our Sons Foundation, her taking, you know, Mr. President and the Prince up to Washington, D.C. to take part in the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March. She invited Portia, because Portia's grandfather was Hosea Williams, and she invited Sheree, and because she has a black son. Speaking of Cairo, Sheree's son. Hey, boy. Hey. You really grown up. 6'6". This is like Phaedra said, you legal. Sheree was like, legal for what? Bitches, y'all better back up. Keep your hands off my son, because Sheree will break all she'll break all their damn backs fooling up with her child. Or whatever. But, you know, Phaedra, and she invited Kim Fields. Now, Phaedra has been around the block long enough where she knows that she couldn't take two little boys to Washington, D.C. on her own, especially since Apollo is not there. He's in jail, child. And I'm so glad, side note, I'm so glad that Phaedra showed us that she do allow the kids to talk to Apollo, because he called from prison and she allowed little Aiden to speak to him. And you know, Apollo from jail causing all this ruckus saying Phaedra don't bring the boys and Phaedra don't he don't hear from the kids and stuff like that. But we actually see at least one time that she did allow him to speak to the kids. So I'm actually glad that she showed that, because Phaedra doesn't seem like the type of person who would block the boys from seeing their daddy even though he's in jail. But she invited Kim Fields. So Phaedra's been around the block to know that I can't take no boys on no long trip to no big city like this, where it's going to be a lot more people there than normal for the Million Man March. Kim Fields, on the other hand, is a hands-on type of mother. So she didn't have a team. She took them boys up there by herself. Now, first of all, Kim Fields, this is what I'm going to say, because I don't comment on kids. But I would have recommended that you maybe left the little one home and took the oldest boy. So, you know, Phaedra, they went to see Congresswoman Wilson, and then they had the little brunch or lunch thing with the other people. And Kim, while they were talking to Congresswoman Wilson, Kim Fields took her two boys and walked out. Now, it sounded like the little one might have been misbehaving, so she was taking them out to have a talk. But she wanted to go out there and talk to her son, Sebastian, because she felt that the conversation really wasn't appropriate. But I disagree, Kim Fields. I think the conversation was appropriate, and I also think that your son was old enough where he could understand what those women were actually saying. I know when I was younger, we were, you know, my grandmother and my mom and my dad, they made us do stuff that we didn't want to do, and we had to sit and listen. For example, going to YPD, you know, I grew up in the AME church. I didn't always want to go, but I had to go. I was made to go, and I needed to sit and listen and pay attention. Now, I didn't pay attention all the time, but if who was watching us, if they were right there, then yeah, I paid attention. And I just personally felt that your son was old enough. Yes, you could have allowed him to sit through the conversation, but then just as you did when you took him out, you had a follow-up conversation. And that's what my mom and dad used to do for us or whatever. Like, we would listen and then they would turn around and have a follow-up conversation with us about what we heard. So I don't knock you for that, but I just think that the oldest boy was old enough and is disciplined enough where he could have sat and paid attention and listened to what they were saying, because you could have stepped in as the filter was like, well, you know, Congresswoman Wilson, would you mind sharing with Sebastian this? Or would you mind sharing with Sebastian this? You know, Sebastian, what do you think about this? I just think that you could have been a filter, or you could have organized you could have directed the conversation to make sure that it addresses your son. I hope next time you go on trips, you've learned your lesson to maybe take a team with you too. Because, you know, it's not bad if you have someone to help you along the way, since your husband wasn't there to actually help you. But, you know, you were saying that it was grown-up concepts, and it was. It might have been a little too old, but I also think that you could have helped the situation instead of hurting the situations, getting irritated and getting up and leave. Even Sheree came up when y'all was at the lunch. She was like, you don't think it's, you know, you need to come back in. You don't think it's rude of you or disrespectful? Phaedra has put all of this together and you can't, you know, come. And she was like, well, I'm not apologizing for that. I have my children. Girl, don't let them children run or rule your life. Like, you're an excellent mother from what it seems. I'm not knocking you for that. All I'm saying is just allow a little bit of time for yourself or whatever. Get a nanny. Maybe Phaedra's team could have helped you with the little boy. I don't know. I don't see Phaedra being so, you know, well, I'm paying my nanny type thing. You know, maybe she could have looked after your boy too. I don't know. But you left the march before it even began. Like, you rode the bus only to say, I'm leaving. I got a lymphoma cancer event back in Atlanta. I got to go host. Why did you even come to the Million Man March? Now, that just looks suspect. All of a sudden, you just have this event that you have to go to back in Atlanta or whatever. A part of me just think you was just ready to get the hell out of there because you felt that it wasn't age appropriate. But shout out to Phaedra for the whole message of this episode. I love the fact that you're having the Saving Our Sons Foundation, you know, where you're wanting to teach black men that they are worth something, that their lives matter. You know, you inviting Portia and all of them to just be there. I like the concept of that. And then you had the mothers come over and talk to them about, you know, their sons who were killed, you know, for whatever reason. Police brutality or whatever, you know, racial profiling. Overall, it was an actual good episode, and I wish you much luck and success with the foundation. If you're watching Phaedra, if you need anything from people like me in the community to help out with Saving Our Sons, I don't mind helping. Just let me know what I can do. I don't mind mentoring somebody. I'm 33, well, about to be 33 years old. I'm graduated from college and got a good job, and, you know, I have some experiences that I might be able to help. So just let me know, girl. I'm here. I'm in Atlanta. I can help out. But that's about it. So next week, NeNe's here, so we're going to see more from NeNe Leaks or whatever. But bye, y'all. Talk to you later.